Deputy National Chairman North of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Abubakar Kyari, has taken over as the National Chairman of the party. This follows the resignation of Abdullahi Adamu and Iyuola Omisore as National Chairman and National Secretary. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
It is a Monday morning, and staff of the APC National Secretariat, like other party members, woke up to what they described as sudden news: the resignation of Abdullahi Adamu as the National Chairman of APC. The sudden takeover of the parking space of the National Chairman by the Deputy Chairman North sent a strong signal to staff of the Secretariat.
There are procedures.
At the end of a closed-door meeting that lasted about 4 hours, the man wearing the new crown, Senator Abubakar Kyari, confirmed the new leadership and the resignation of the National Chairman and National Secretary.
And with this development, and according to the Constitution of the All Progressive Congress, APC, it is now incumbent on my humble self, Senator Abubakar Kyari, as the Deputy National Chairman, North, to assume the office of the acting National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and subsequently also the Deputy National Secretary, Barrister Festus Fuanta, will now assume the office of the acting National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC. And with these recent developments in the change of leadership, I'd like to inform everybody here that the proposed National Caucus meeting slated for Tuesday, the 18th, July 2023, and the National Executive Committee meeting of the All Progressive Congress slated for Wednesday, 19th July 2023, has hereby been postponed.
The new leadership urged party supporters to remain active members of the progressive family and contribute meaningfully to the growth of the party. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
And in our studio to talk more on the change of leadership in Nigeria's ruling party, the APC, is Honorable Ahmad Sajo, former Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Adamawa State. You're welcome to NTA International, Honorable.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right, Honorable, could you tell us your take concerning the resignation of the National Chairman and Secretary of the party, APC?
I think as a person and as chieftain of the party and as a Nigerian, I have no reason to feel alarmed because the process had followed constitutional provisions, and that is what really matters. When the constitution of the party or the constitution of even the constitution of the country says there is a tenure for elected leadership, maybe 4 years, that is giving you the maximum period within which a person is allowed to hold that office within that given mandate. But it's not absolute and it's not sacrosanct that tenure must run all through. For whatever reason, a person may decide to resign, a person may decide to be removed following constitutional provisions, or for whatever reason, you know, the office could become vacant. And that is why the Constitution makes provisions for deputies to assume. In the case of the chairman, there are two deputies. There is a deputy chairman North and there is a deputy chairman South. But in the wisdom of the framers of the Constitution, they said when a chairman resigns or leaves office for whatever reason, the deputy chairman from the region of that chairman assumes the position as the acting chairman. And in this case, because Abdullahi Adamu is from the northern part of the country, the deputy chairman North has assumed the position in acting capacity. This will be the subsisting situation until such a time that the postponed National Executive Council meeting is held, and then the National Executive Council meeting that will be held will now determine how to hold another elective convention, whether it is on emergency basis or whatever, to elect a new chairman and a new secretary.
Okay.
I must assure you that because the process is seamless and it follows the tenets of the Constitution, we expect that it's going to be very, very smooth, and there will be no upheaval within the party.
All right, Honorable Commissioner, you said you are not alarmed and everything has happened constitutionally. What is your impression or assessment of the outcome of this leadership of the APC?
No, I think there's nothing to worry about. Normally, when the National Executive Council when the National Working Committee members were elected, each and every one of them knew inherently that they had roles to play as defined in the Constitution. One of the roles defined for deputy chairman is that in the case where the national chairman is absent for whatever reason, one of the deputy chairmen will step into his shoes. The same thing with the national secretary. So it's already a known fact that constitutionally these changes could occur, and they have occurred. And I think because as at now today, we did not witness any dissension. There was no voices from members of NWC to say we do not agree with the decision that was taken. I think we are good to go because the system is now seamlessly following constitutional provisions, and there will be no upheaval, nothing. The party will continue to operate, and the overall leader of the party in the country, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had returned from Kenya. Definitely, he's going to be briefed appropriately of what happened, and he is going to guide the party because he has the responsibility of guiding not just the country, but also the party that brought him to power. He will guide the party to assume its appropriate position as the ruling party with a leadership that is presently in the hands of Senator Abubakar Kyari, and if there is a need to hold an emergency convention to fill up the gaps that have been created by the resignation of the national chairman and secretary, that will be done appropriately by the National Executive Council.
Okay, you are good to go. Can you tell us more about expectations that we are having, or your party is having, and this new leadership instituted this Monday?
No, I think if you've noticed, there were definitely some grumblings here and there. There were even altercations among the members of the National Working Committee, with some of them, talking about certain actions and inactions of the then chairman and the secretary, that they did not like. I can assure you that from what Senator Abubakar Kyari says, we would be able to look into some of those allegations. He says at present there are no allegations, but there are definitely going to be some. Well, when those things are looked into, I'm sure if there are anomalies, that may come out of the whole process, those anomalies will be corrected, and then the party will be stronger. What I see is that this exercise had actually deepened democracy within the party, and we hope that it also serves to deepen democracy within the polity.
Thank you, former Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Adamawa State, Ahmad Sajo, for coming on NTA International News.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Now, President Bola Tinubu is back in Abuja after participating in the African Union 5th Mid-Year Coordination Meeting in Nairobi, Kenya. The Nigerian leader took off from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport at about 10 a.m. Nigerian time. State House correspondent Musbauden Wahab reports that on his first participation at the Continental event, President Tinubu presented the position of ECOWAS on various issues geared towards achieving continental integration. Presidential advisor on special duties, communications and strategy, Dele Alake, says the outing has been fruitful.
Significant for Nigeria. Number one, it's another testimony that Nigeria is back on the global stage, specifically on the continental stage in Africa, and every African is now becoming more proud of Nigeria because Nigeria is taking its rightful place that had been neglected for a while. And Nigeria actually proved, her point that Africa must be stable, must be secured, even before any meaningful infrastructural development, economic activity can adequately and effectively take place. That was the main thrust of the address of our president there. Of course, he also presented the status report of the ECOWAS, the state of ECOWAS in terms of integration, in terms of free movement of people amongst the ECOWAS countries, in terms of security, stability, and political progress of West Africa. In short, his address was well received and well applauded by all and sundry. And even after the event, as usual with all these international events that is attended, a lot of heads of state wanted bilaterals with him, and we're accommodating them. It's quite a proud moment for Nigeria, I assure you.
Moving on now, despite being a resource-rich continent with a population of about 1.4 billion people, intra-African trade remains low, accounting for only 16.1% of Africa's total trade in 2021. Experts at the Afri-Trade Forum identified high trade barriers, poor infrastructure and differing standards are some of the reasons affecting trade on the continent. The Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment is optimistic that all of this could change following the African Continental Free Trade Agreement signed in 2018 by 54 African countries.
Potentials of the African continent by leveraging its demographic dividend. Africa boasts of the world's youngest population.
First focus is to promote our youth talent. The creativity of our youth is far bigger than all the oil wells in Africa.
Of Namibia to Nigeria, Humphrey Gazep said Nigeria's government is well aware of the transformative powers of the agreement and has a key role to play in making it work.
All the various countries have abolished tariffs and non-tariff barriers. Our contribution as Africa to global trade will definitely increase from 3% to hopefully double that percentage.
One of the problems we are having when it comes to intra-Africa trade is lack of information, lack of right information.
B2B is an opportunity to harness not only trade, but also trade mindset. And this platform is there to help that first.
The Free Trade Agreement, which aims at creating a single market for goods and services in Africa, key players say will reduce trade barriers and make it easier for African countries to trade with each other or one another. President Kais Saied of Tunisia, along with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte have signed a memorandum of understanding establishing a comprehensive and strategic partnership between Tunisia and the European Union. The three leaders converged on the capital Tunis to sign the pact, which focuses on key areas such as development, renewable energy and combating irregular migration. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and others expressed satisfaction with the signing of the agreement, highlighting that the partnership agreement aims at investing in a shared property of prosperity and stability while addressing various challenges.
Our teams have worked very hard, and I want to thank them, to deliver rapidly on a strong package. This is an investment in our shared prosperity, stability, and in future generations. We need to crack down on criminal networks of smugglers and traffickers. They are exploiting human despair, and we have to break their reckless business model.
This is another important step toward the creation of a true partnership of Tunisia with the European Union that can address the migration crisis and development for both sides of the Mediterranean in an integrated manner.
Migration is a significant element of the package that we have signed today. For humanitarian reasons, it is vital that we work together to try to stop, as I think all the speakers today have emphasized, to stop people making the dangerous and often deadly Mediterranean crossing as they attempt to reach the EU's shores.
In June 2023, the European delegation visited Tunisia and offered financial support exceeding €1 billion to assist the Tunisian economy and reduce the influx of illegal refugees across the Mediterranean. However, the offer is conditional on implementing reforms as a prerequisite for reaching an agreement with the International Monetary Fund on a rescue package worth around $2 billion. This is news on NTA International. We take a break now.
The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Lawrence Ikechukwu-Ezemonye, PhD, FAS, on behalf of Igbinedion University, Okada,
Buratai Center
for Contemporary Security Affairs in collaboration with partnering agencies, hereby invites partnering agencies and other special guests to a one-day international conference with the theme Organized Crimes Network as Emergent Threats to National Security. The event, which is to be chaired by the former Chief of Army Staff and Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General A.B. Dambazau, has former Inspector General of Police and current Chairman, Police Service Commission, Dr. Solomon Arase, as keynote speaker, immediate past Chairman of International Association of Police Chiefs, Impact Session, Georgia, USA, Mark Fallon, Director General, NAFDAC, Professor Muji Adeyeye, Dr. Francesca Mercurio of the University of Sao Paulo, Brazil, and other partnering agencies as discussants. Date, Tuesday, 18th July 2023. Venue, Nigerian Army Resource Center, Asokoro, Abuja. Time, 11 a.m. prompt. You can also join the program via Zoom. ID 966-774-4763. Participants are to be seated by 10:30 a.m. Signed, Friday Benji Bakari, Esquire.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to the Russian Federation, Abdullahi Shehu, has urged members of the Nigerian community in Russia to live in peace and remain law-abiding, contribute to the development of Nigeria, as there is no place like home. Obegeli Ugoke reports that Ambassador Shehu gave this charge as he concluded a two-day official visit to the Russian region.
The bilateral education cooperation between Voronezh and Nigeria, which dates back to Soviet era, has been one of the main thrusts of Nigeria's relations with the Russian Federation and has been sustained till date. The visit by Ambassador Abdullahi Shehu is aimed at strengthening the bilateral economic, education, scientific and cultural cooperation between Nigeria and his host country, the Voronezh region. Upon arrival, the ambassador paid a courtesy visit to the governor of the Voronezh region, Alexandra Goshev.
To Nigerian students to study, and some of them have been here for over 40 years.
During their bilateral meeting in the office of the governor, opportunities given to Nigerians in the region, both in their studies and vocation after graduation, were discussed. The high points of the ambassador's visit is the meeting with the Nigerian community in Voronezh, as well as award and recognition of 36 Nigerian students who graduated with first-class honors degrees in medicine, engineering, and biotechnology in the Russian Federation, and one in general medicine in the Republic of Belarus.
Have gone back and they are contributing meaningfully.
The governor thanked the ambassador for the visit, which he said is a demonstration of Nigeria's concern for her citizens. Voronezh, with a population of 2.4 million, hosts about 27 specialized universities with many Nigerian students. This year, 21 Nigerians graduated from the universities, with 9 obtaining first-class degrees. The region is also home to vast industrial and agricultural resources that can be beneficial to Nigeria. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
And Russia has formally withdrawn from a UN brokered deal to export Ukrainian grain across the Black Sea. President Vladimir Putin's spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, announced on Monday that the agreement has essentially ended and Russia would no longer cooperate with the deal. Once more, here is Obiageli Ugoke with the report.
Russia has withdrawn from the Black Sea Grain Initiative, which allowed for the export of more than 32 million tons of grains from Ukraine over the past year. The deal, brokered by the United Nations in Turkey in July 2022 to allow Ukraine to export grains from 3 Black Sea ports, is due for renewal July 17, 2023.
Producing and production and availability of food is being disrupted by conflict, climate change, energy prices and more. These agreements have helped to reduce food prices by over 23% since March last year.
The grain deal has allowed the World Food Programme, WFP, to transport more than 725,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres recently sent a letter to the Russian President Vladimir Putin outlining a proposal to keep the deal operational.
Indeed, we are already seeing a jump in wheat prices this morning. I am aware of some obstacles that remained in the foreign trade of Russian food and fertilizer products. And this is precisely why I sent a letter to President Putin with a new proposal to keep the Black Sea Initiative alive.
President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, strongly condemned Russia's move to withdraw from the deal despite UN and Turkey's efforts. Von der Leyen assures EU solidarity links will continue bringing agri-food products out of Ukraine into global markets. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
Residents in the Polish capital Warsaw are exploring ways to cool themselves down as heat waves scorched the country for several days. Temperature rose as high as 35 degrees Celsius at the Blabluzlin Sunday report.
Residents flocked the city's Lanziaki Park, also known as the Royal Bath Park, where they sat around to stay cool in the tranquil green surroundings. Many were treated to an open-air concert by pianists who performed next to a statue of renowned 19th century Polish composer Frederick Chopin. Others strolled through the park at leisure, many seeking shelter under trees while eating ice creams or ordering some cold drinks to fend off the heat.
Stay inside if you have air conditioning. If not, then they'll go to the malls, shopping malls, right? Because you have air conditionings. They'll try to go to lakes and rivers, maybe take a swim, cool down.
Others are bracing themselves for several more days of roasting hot weather, with the high temperatures expected to rise.
Today weather is very hot today and yesterday, and probably tomorrow we're gonna be also hot as well.
The whole of the European continent is experiencing heat wave, with some meteorologists from the European Space Agency saying current temperatures could reach or even surpass the record of 48.8 degrees Celsius which was set in 2021 in Italy's Sicily. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has called for effective synergy among the nation's security forces to completely neutralize existing and emerging security threats in the country. This was during the screening of the new service chiefs by an ad hoc committee of the House chaired by Representative Babajimi Benson. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire and reports.
The screening of the newly appointed service chiefs is a necessary constitutional requirement. In their opening remarks, the chairman and members of the ad hoc committee did not mince words in telling the president's appointees that Nigerians want to see a more secured nation.
I urge you to kindly cooperate with the National Assembly while performing your constitutional duties of ensuring a peaceful, secure, and prosperous country for all Nigerians.
We are happy to see well-educated, fit, trained, and very anxious men in uniform that are ready to take the relevant strategic national security issues forward.
On their part, some of the nominees acknowledged that insecurity has stunted Nigeria's developmental plans and pledged their resolve towards a safer country.
We are aware that the challenges we're facing cannot be handled by one person or one service. It's a joint effort. Accordingly, my leadership council will be hinged on 3 pillars, which include being people-centric. The people must believe that we're there for them. Prioritizing troops' welfare, which is critical because a happy soldier or a happy airman or a happy seaman will give you the best. While deepening jointness and interagency cooperation to ensure our territories are secured and lives and properties are not threatened.
The screening thereafter entered into a closed-door session for 3 hours, after which the chairman of the ad hoc committee gave his impression.
They did very, very well. They come from very, very practical background. There are people who have served and served well. There are people who also have shown that they have passion for the Nigerian people and for the troops in which they lead.
The report of the screening committee will be considered at plenary for final confirmation of the appointment of the service chiefs. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
And next is Tuesday's weather forecast. That's the news on NTA International. And on behalf of Precious Ozemena, who's been on sign language, this is Nancy Godianguni, thanking you.